Hey guys, Long Haul Larry, and we are down here today for an exciting day. Down here in the farm in Wisconsin, my parents' place. Down here in the shop, and I have left the heat on all night long. I painted the Raptor paint yesterday, and left the heat on all night long, and she's firmed up really nice. It is looking really good. I really do like this. I think I've said that quite a few times, but I actually really do like this. There is a couple spots that I'm wondering about. Right there on the door seam, I went down with the gun at the end, I think, and I shot into that crack there. It's a little bit glossier, just a little line there. I'm wondering if this is what people are talking about, tiger striping and stuff like that. And over here, you can see right here too. I don't know if it's just because you can still smell the chemical reaction happen. It's still doing it. So I don't know if that's going to go away or not. And right here. So hopefully that goes away. And if it doesn't, well, then I end up with that, I guess. But hopefully that does. But today I am going to be starting on putting this truck together. Piecing pieces apart, so I'll putting everything back together and make this into a running, operating truck. And I think the first thing I'm going to do is assemble these lights. I don't know, I keep worrying that I'm going to push these wires down in there, which is not the biggest deal. Excuse me. I can just pop the inner fender loose and get it in there to push the wires back out. But I'd rather not go backwards. Well, guys, we made a lot of progress. Got my fancy lights put on, dually fenders there. Got those put on. I got the tail lights all put in. Got the back bumper all put in. Got some dirt on here. Laying it down. Got the back bumper. Got everything wired in. Got those cool LED lights down there. All that. Everything's wired up. Got all those lights working up on top of the cab. There is a plastic piece that goes on top of here that I actually lost. I found one on eBay, actually, really cheap. And it should be here tomorrow, and then it just snap onto place. And it's a plastic cap that goes on the top of there. So this is all done. And now I have gotten all the doors done. All the doors, all the molding, everything is all done. They close awesome. And everything's all together there. I gotta put that panel back on the dash there. Got the mirrors all put on and everything. It's all good looking. It's really starting to actually look like a truck. I did get the clearance lights up there. And if you notice, 4 of them are kind of brighter and they're more white. And then the one's real dim. I bought some fancy LED bulbs to put in there. They were $10 a pop. And bought them. And the second one from the end there, I put it in and it was on. And then it started to blink. And I was like, what the heck? And I was working on the last one and there was a halogen light in the last one. And I pulled the halogen out. Swapped it. Halogen worked fine. Put the LED in the other one. It blinked a couple times and then it stopped working. So I got one bulb that just is not working right. So I'll have to return that and get a new bulb. Put in that one there. And so they'll be all the same. So next, I got to clean my windshield. And get the 1/8 inch of dust off the windshield. And then the pieces that go up in here, the drains and all that stuff. For the windshield wipers and all that. And those are all hanging over there. Put that in there, and then I will charge the AC system. I got the O-rings for the whole thing, so I could put all the O-rings, the new O-rings into the AC system, and dump a little peg oil in there and recharge it. I got enough Freon here to do it. And put a vacuum on it, make sure everything's holding, and then recharge the AC system. Not that I'll need it right now, but hey, I will eventually. And then I can start putting this front grill together. My goal tonight is to get this front end on. if I can get this front end on. Then it's tomorrow. It's just a little bit of pieces and parts. I got 2 things coming. All the emblems, all these emblems that go on here. The F-350 one, the Power Stroke one that goes on in the door. There's the Ford one on the back. The F-350 one. All those, usually you put those on like a 3M sticky tape type stuff. It's a real sticky stuff. Usually body shops, you'll put those on. But I have the one for here. I have the one that goes on here, the F-350. I don't know why there's dirt on here or something. Wash that off. But this oval one, I do not have. I have lost that one. So I've actually ordered one. And so I have this and this cap coming. And those are the last 2 things that I'll be needing. So hopefully they come tomorrow. I can button this thing up and go home. That's the goal. Let's see. Well, we got all our O-rings changed out in our AC system. Everything's all been replaced and everything. And we've gotten all our new seals. So we put the new seals in here now. We're just pulling a vacuum on it. Do that for about 30 minutes. And then I'll shut her down and let her sit for about 30 minutes and see what's going on. See if we got any leaks. But this is my front end assembly, and this will be going on there. This has the headlights mounted in it, and the grill mounts to this, and everything else. And so we can button this up on the front of here. And I have polished these headlamps not that long ago, maybe a year and a half ago. I polished them, and they're still really good. So I'm not going to mess with that. But I am switching from my halogen light to a LED light. And this one I think I got off Amazon. Sahern. Foreigner LED lighting. 50,000 H-hour lapse plan. CAN bus ready. Easy installation. Off-road. It's a 9007. Comes with a fancy glove. I guess they don't want you touching the LED. I don't know. Usually it's halogen or something you don't want to touch. But put it on. Just got it all dirty. Just putting it on. And there you go. I got a white glove on. And then we got this new one here. All there is to it. That's where it goes. And I'm actually wondering if I should mount the bumper on now, because then I could get behind here. Because if I put the chrome grill on here, I won't be able to get in here and get to back to these bolts. Why? I think that's a very wise idea, Larry. That's what I'm going to do, I think. I think I'm going to go grab the bumper, bring it in here, and start putting the bumper on. There we go. All the bolts are all tight on the bumper now. I just got the 2 bolts that on the side that go into the frame. It goes with the impact wick. There we go. Bumper's on there. Alright, so now it's time to put in the turn signals and the clearance lights. But I have bought LED bulbs for here. Just a simple pop in. Got a whole package of these things. Okay. Let's see if everything works. Sorry about that, my camera died on me. I had to plug it in. Let's see if all the stuff works. Okay, headlights are on. Clearance, headlights. We got brights, both sides. We gotta put the key in. So the turn signal is not working. I'm wondering if I put the halogen bulb back in. That's exactly what it is. So I'm gonna have to pull the back ones and put the regular bulbs back in and pull those LEDs out. It's the little sensors in there or whatever. It's not recognizing that there's an actual bulb in there, and so it's not working. No big deal. So I'll put those back in there, but I can button all this back up. We know that this is working and everything, and we can put our screws in there and then put the grill on here. Well, guys, I kind of just went ahead and put the grill on and everything else, and I like that. I really like that a lot. Got that all on. I got this here second cover thing or whatever you want to call it. And a little piece of plastic goes up on there. But it looks pretty good. I like that. So I ran up to the store. I think that I didn't... I think that's where I left off because I had to run to get to a place before they closed. I'm working on this right now. I got all these plates here, these emblems and stuff that go on, and I had to peel all the double-sided tape off of them. Usually put those on with double-sided tape. I'm not, and the reason why is because of the rough texture of the paint. I'm afraid that they won't stick. So I'm actually going to be using this. It's black super weather stripping adhesive. I was going to use the stuff that they put windows in, that they put around the windows when they set it in there. That stuff is really strong and it's black. I want it to be black so you don't see it. And the problem was they did have a tube and it was like $40. But the thing is once you open a tube you can't do it. And I don't have all the emblems. I'm still waiting on one emblem. So I don't want to pay $40 and have to get another tube and pay another $40 to open it, you know, just for one little emblem. So I got this stuff here. We looked at it and it's the equivalent of it basically, and I'm just going to be putting it all in the back of there and then put these on here, and then I'll tape them on there for the night, and I'll just put some tape over them. These are pretty good. They sit on there because those little pegs in there, but there's actually ones that sit right here too. Those got to go on. I'm having a little bit of an issue. My dome lights are on. They keep coming on and then they go off. Come on, go off. And I know it's one of these stupid little wires that's up here by the door switch. One of them is not plugged in correctly or something, which really sucks. I gotta take the doors apart. So I messed around with it and stuff, and I have bought myself a scan tool. It's right here, and you can actually hook up to the vehicle, and you can hook up to the vehicle and do diagnostics with it and everything. It does activations on everything and stuff, and you can try to, you know, work through these things. and it tells me that the passenger door is ajar. So that's good. And the reason why I have that hooked up to it is because I replaced the starter, and then I went to go start it to check, see if the belt, you know, if all the squeaking was gone, the belt and everything. And I went to go start it, and I turned the key, and it wouldn't work. And I was like, what? And I was having all kinds of issues, and I was testing things and everything else. I'm trying to get the key to turn. What the heck? Sorry about that. And I was trying to get the key to turn and everything, and it wouldn't start. And I hooked the scanner up and figured it out. So no more squeaking belt. That's all fixed. The starter and stuff doesn't clink anymore, so that's all fixed. But you can see doors are closed, and I still have a door ajar symbol. I also have the ABS, and this, it's because I bled the brakes, but the ABS is not bled, and without a scan tool like this, you can't do it. And so I purchased this one and everything. And what happens is I need somebody else to be in the truck here, and there's a process to start on here, and then it tells me, okay, bleed the left brake, and you hit okay on the thing, and you start to bleed the brake, and you start to pump the brakes, and as you pump the brakes, it actuates the valves in the ABS. It goes, and it works the air out of the ABS module, and it'll tell you to go to right one, then the left and the rear, then the right and the rear, and it works all that through, and then my ABS light will go off. So I got a door ajar that I do have. And I hooked up the scan tool, and I was looking at some other things trying to figure out why it wasn't starting and stuff. And I actually figured it out. It said it was the transmission module was not reading park. And I was like, what? And I went underneath there and pulled around on the transmission, on the shift cable, and pulled it back tighter, and it came up here, and then it starts fine. And I went down there, and there's actually 2 screws on that module where you can adjust it and turn it back and forth. It just needs to be adjusted. And so I got to get underneath there and to tighten that up a little bit. Move that around so make sure it goes into park every time and everything. And so the scan tool's already been paying for itself and everything. So yeah. So making my way around this thing. Boy. Well, guys, I have figured out what is going on. It must be the switch that's inside here that tells that the door is closed. Because when I would have the key on, I was showing a door ajar, and then I used that scanner tool, and that thing is pretty cool. I bought it. It's from X Tool. I mean, I tried to get those guys to sponsor me. They just never got back to me and stuff. And then I talked to technical people about they have some different models and which one would be able to do my ABS bleeding, plus do all the other stuff I want to do. And they took forever, and I just did a bunch of research, and I ended up picking up that one. It's the D7 from X Tool. It's pretty fancy. It's pretty cool. I never thought I'd get a big fancy scan tool like that, but you need it for some things. But it told me the passenger door was ajar. And so I went into this door here, and these 2 wires. They're back here. The plugs are way back there. It's almost impossible for me to record back in there. But the first plug, this gray one right here with these 2 orange and orange-black wire, what I did is I put the door lock on here. I put the switch on, and then I hit the door lock back and forth. And then I unplugged the first one, which was this one right here. I unplugged this one, and then I tried it, and it does not operate this lock. So I know that is the door lock one. So that leaves me that one that's way in the back and really hard to get to. And what I did is I just took a jumper wire, and I just put it in between there, so that I'm thinking that it'd be closed. So I'm thinking when they make contact, then it closes the loop and everything, and it tells it that it is good, that the door is closed. And I just jumped in and tried it. So now, see, when I open this door up, the dome lights come on. You know, it dings. Then when I get inside, close the door, the dinging goes away. So I know this one is working over here. And so the lights are on. And that's normal. Lights usually stay on for like 30 seconds to a minute or so. Usually when you get out or something like that, the lights stay on just to light up the area and stuff. Usually the running lights and everything. And they'll stay on just for a little while. And I'm just waiting here and just listening. You'll hear it. There it went. Hear a little tick in the dash, and then all the lights shut off. And that door is wide open. And so that tells me, because before, I mean, guys, it would stay on 5-10 minutes. And then every once in a while, it would just come on by itself. So that'd be an issue with the battery running. But then the thing is if I turn on the key, there's no more door ajar symbol right here. So I'm going to fix this the easy way, and I'll show you. So this is the whole switch mechanism here. It's inside the door. It's the whole door mechanism. It's all one piece. It's like in plastic and stuff. That's where your lock is. There, she just turned off. That's where your lock is, and it tells the door that it's closed. I'm going to be honest with you. To remove all that, you got to take all these wires off and everything else. And yes, I could get a new one and do all that and everything else. But really, how important is that? Because if I pull into someplace, I open up the door, the dome lights are going to come on. So if there's a passenger, that means the dome light's going to come on for them. And then they're going to be able to see and all this stuff. Excuse me. And so when I get out, they'll have dome lights and everything else. So to save all the trouble, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to cut this wire right about here. And I'm just going to pigtail these two together. I'm just going to put a connector in between them and put these two wires together. And that way it thinks it's always closed. And that way it will not do anything. And I'm just not even going to plug it in. And I'm going to leave it in there. Now, someday if I feel like it, and oh my goodness, that was a mistake, and I really feel like it, I'm going to save the plug, and I'll put the plug in my glove box or something like that. And if I really feel like it someday, really feeling ambitious, I guess I'll get a whole new door mechanism in there and everything else, and then I can just pigtail this pigtail back on there and hook it back up and go. But really, I don't think it's going to be necessary. I just don't really see the purpose of it. So that's what I'm going to do, is I'm just going to cut this and put a wire connector in between them. And that way the truck thinks this door is closed. Well, guys, here it is. I have gone through my list, head to toe, bumper to bumper, however you want to say it. And everything is working. Everything is done. Except one thing, I got to bleed the ABS brakes. I've already bled the brakes, but I need to bleed the brakes with my scanner tool. And for that, I need some help. And I'm going to get somebody else down here. But I'm all done. Everything is hooked up. Everything is operational. I even finished luming everything inside the engine bay. Got everything all loomed with the blue so it all matches up and everything. I have the emblems all put on there. They're all glued on there and all secured and everything. The interior has been all put back together. And everything is operational. Everything is working properly. And you can see I didn't open the door. See how the dome light didn't come on? But now if I open up this door, so the dome light comes on. That's where I disconnected the wire in this one. So this one will not kick the door open. And don't ask me why there's a bottle of Jack Daniels in here. I don't have no idea how long it's been in there. It's been in there for a while. It's been aged, I'll tell you that. I'll put it back in. I'll take it back up to the ferry house. The back stuff here, I got it all organized. Got my bolts and all my pieces all back in there, and then I got my tray back in there. I like that tray. It holds all different kinds of fluids and oils that I use and stuff, the fuel additives, which you wash your stuff, and my whole Craftsman kit. I bought this kit especially just for this truck. It's a really nice little kit, and it's real skinny and tall like that, and I measured it and it fit perfectly in there. And so that way I always have a toolkit with me. Got my couple straps here for when we need them. And then these are my LED box, but it's actually the halogen bulbs are in there, just in case, you know, a light bulb burns out or something. I could pop one of those back in. I mean, there's nothing wrong with them. They work fine. But everything is done back here. I mean, everything underneath, check differentials and stuff. I have secured this. This used to be, I used to have a plastic bed liner in here. And this went on the tailgate. And I have decided to put this back on because the tailgate is going to take the most damage. And I think from the skis, from the snowmobiles and my snow bike and stuff with the carbide bottom on it, this will take the most of the impact. Yes, they're still going to go up in here, but this is, when you come off the snow, this is what it hits. And so I actually secured that back on there. And I got this plastic clip I'll put back on here. I ordered this and came in. It didn't quite fit. I had to kind of modify some things underneath it, inside of it, to get it to fit right and everything. And the original one that I had actually fell off going down the highway. So what I did is I put a few, just a few bolts, a few self-tapping bolts up in here in the top. Does dual purpose, make sure this doesn't fall off, and it also holds this on there so when the skis come up on here and the carbides hit, it doesn't move this around. And I also put some on the bottom too, just put a couple on the bottom. So that is all done. What else on this side? Really nothing. The truck is complete. It is all ready to go. So now I'm going to get my brother-in-law Larry down here. He's married to my sister. And he's the one that's been helping me with the sanding and scuffing things. He's been doing all kinds of multiple things for me. And I'm going to have him come down here and he's going to bleed. He's going to pump the brakes and everything while I bleed the brakes. And so I'm going to get ready for him. All right. Let's see. Never done this before, so let's see. American. Ford. Okay, turn the key on. You can let go of the brake.
It's off.
Okay, there it is. Picked it up. So we can read the trouble code. Split in the rear center input circuit. Okay. Let's clear them. Special functions. Turn the ignition switch to the on position. Okay. Yes. Have vehicle prepared for test. Press brake pedal and hold.
Gives in there.
Function is complete. Turn the ignition switch to off position. All right, let go. Well, let's see if we got a trouble code. Oh, we got to turn the key back on, sorry. I don't see an ABS light, do you? Oh, there, it just popped on. Okay, so I don't think that I have air in my ABS. What I have is a failure of wheel speed sensor rear. So it's saying that my one of my wheel speed sensors, or the ABS things on one of my tires is not working, and I have to replace those anyways. I plan on doing that when I have the suspension. So I guess we're not bleeding the brakes.
Sounds good.
So I guess we're done.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so this thing is easy here, and we'll clear them just for giggles. Well, there we go, guys. It is all done. We've gotten our truck all back together. It's all running. Everything is good. Got all pretty LED, cool Mad Max looking paint job on it. So now to be a lift kit. And you can see how Ford, they sit lower in the front on these 350s. A lot of companies, they make a 2-inch lift kit for these things. And it levels the truck out. What I'm gonna end up doing, I've already shopped around, is I'm gonna put a 6-inch lift on the front and a 4-inch on the back. And then I'll be putting tires on it. But that'll be this summer or something. Not really worried about that right now. But yeah, she's all done. So I'm gonna let her idle. I'll jump outside here. It's smoky in here. But I'm gonna let it all idle and everything. And come up to temperature. And I'm gonna check the transmission fluid one last time. And then I'm going to take it for a little test drive down the road, bring it back in. After getting the transmission temperatures all up to par, and check the transmission fluid, make sure it's all good. And then I gotta clean my shop and grab a quick shower, grab all my stuff out of the house, and I'm taking off for the UP. Going up there to the UP. So I hope that you guys really enjoyed all these videos and everything else. I really tried to go into a lot of detail with these things, and really show you guys a lot of detail, because a lot of times I work on stuff and you guys ask for more detail, more, you know, showing things and everything else. And it's hard to do when I'm working for somebody in a time constraint. It's hard to do, to take the time to whip out the camera and try to show all the different things. You know, I try to do my best, but it's hard. And so I really put a lot of effort into this thing. It took me a month and 2 weeks to do this. That was the rebuild part. The teardown was probably about a week to 2 weeks maybe. And I did that this summer when I was here, when my dad was ill and stuff, was in the hospital, and then I went to hospice. I would actually sit out here and work on this stuff, tearing it apart. And then in the evenings I would go sit with him in the hospital or whatever. And we all kind of took shifts with him and stuff. And so I kind of tore it apart then. It was about a week to 2 weeks, I think it took me to tear it all apart. And then I dropped everything off and went back trucking, and then I came back a little before Christmas, went up to the UP, celebrated Christmas up there, built a dirt bike, did some other different things, and then came down here on January 2nd. And right now it is the middle of February. And I did have a week in there that I got super sick. Well, that was horrible. But yeah, so I hope that you guys really enjoyed this. I thought that was a pretty fast rebuild. I basically had every nut, every bolt, every wire harness, every single thing torn apart on that. And I've gone through that truck and redid everything. And you can hear her in there. She's purring like a kitten. So I don't know. So I hope you guys like this stuff. And if you did, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and everything else. I kind of have some plans to do some more stuff. And I'm thinking up in the UP of doing some things like this. And I got an idea in my head. It's a little crazy. It is a little bit crazy. I'm going to show it to you. Here's an idea in my head. That is a 1998 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. This used to be my ex-wife's. I bought this off my parents years and years ago. And they used to have a big motorhome, and it was set up for towing behind a motorhome. And they hauled this thing all over the place and used it and all that stuff for years. And then they went to get a new one, and I ended up buying this one, and my ex-wife was driving us. We were married at the time. And then we separated and everything else, and she decided she wanted a new car. And she asked me about this car and what should she do, what do with this car. And I said, I'll take it. You know, and it's seen better days. The engine, it's got a pretty good tick to it. The overhead, it needs to be worked and everything. But, I mean, it's got issues, and it's got rust and everything else. I've actually tried to give this to John. If you don't remember, see all the dots and the little lines on the wheels? This was what was parked out in front of his house when I stole his motorcycle. And his daughters, they dressed it all up with that window painting stuff, and they put it on the wheels. It never came off the wheels. But I tried to give it to John because his youngest was turning 16, was getting her driver's license. And I said, dude, I got a perfect car for you. I said, it's free. And it ran and everything. And I said, I don't know. It may last 6 months, it may last 6 years. Nobody really knows. And he was like, okay. And so I had it all parked up here, and I cleaned it out and had the title and everything sitting out here behind the garage with the keys in it. And I told him, pick it up anytime. Well, then I guess him and his wife were talking, and I guess she didn't like the idea of it because probably it wouldn't pass emissions. And over in Sheboygan, they're in Mission County. Over here, we're not. And so she didn't want to have to dump money into it and everything else. So they ended up doing something different. So I came home and I asked him, and he said, yeah, we're not going to do it. I said, okay. So I took this thing and I went down and I parked it down behind this building in the back there. And there was all these weeds and stuff. And I parked it back there, and it sat back there for probably 5 to 6 years, guys. And trees and everything just grew up around it. Well, when I came home this summer and I flew in for my dad and stuff, my pickup truck was in the UP and I didn't have a vehicle here. And I was thinking about going and renting one. I thought, I wonder if this old Jeep will start. And I went down and I hooked the battery charger up to it, and it started. And one of the tires was low, and I put some air in it. And I drove it out. When I drove it out, there was trees growing up into the bottom of the truck. And it ripped all the roots out. I pulled it in my shop. I changed the oil. Looked at the brakes. Nothing was leaking. Everything was fine. And I've been driving this thing ever since. I've been probably, 6, 7 trips back and forth to the UP, and it's going just fine. But here's my crazy idea. I'm thinking about taking this thing as a next build. And I'm thinking about making a lift for it, lifting this thing like 6, 8 inches up off the ground, putting some big tires, some big mud tires on it, do a simple motor work on it and everything else. The 4-wheel drive is not working. It will not shift in a 4-wheel drive. Something's wrong with the shift mechanism. Get that working. And kind of make this thing and just kind of fix it up and make this thing into a vehicle, a fun off-road kind of Jeep looking vehicle, but an older style. And then maybe doing a giveaway on YouTube. I don't know. What do you guys think? I think that'd be pretty funny. I think that'd be pretty cool. And doing some kind of giveaway and stuff. And somebody could win themselves a 4x4 Jeep Grand Cherokee Laredo. I don't know. I think it'd be fun to do it and custom make a lift kit for it and everything. And, and do this all and do some simple motor work. Not go crazy. But just do the motor work on it, new, bearings and new pistons probably, and then do an overhead on it. And, just make it into an off-road. I mean, it would still be legal to drive on the road and everything, but make it into something that you go mudding in and stuff. It's 4-door. You can take your family. I don't know. Just a crazy idea. So you guys let me know what you think about that. I think that's a good idea. I think that'd be funny. I think it'd be neat, and somebody could maybe win themselves a vehicle. That'd be kind of cool. So I don't know. So I am really happy with my truck. It came out really nice. I really like the way it looks. So I'm going to be pulling it on out of here. And I'm going to take it for a test drive and get that transmission up to temp and check the fluid and everything and make sure everything is good. And I got to pack things up. And I had this transmission rebuilt in Fond du Lac at a transmission shop. And they want me to come in there when I got it done. And they're just going to inspect it real quick. And then they're going to write the mileage down for the warranty information. So I have to get there before they close. And then I'll be able to take off for the UP. So I hope everybody out there is having themselves a great day, great night as they watch this here video. And if you're not, you can certainly try that all over again tomorrow. I will catch you guys later. See ya.